Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is Alex Oni Edigin, and welcome to Zion Extra. Today, as you all know, we're having a special program. This program is going to be very educational, and it's going to help those who are having second thought when it comes to relationship and when it comes to awareness, or maybe questions you have. How am I going to start my relationship? What am I going to do? And yes, we're going to be talking about special program, which is the mistake women make in a relationship. So, how we'll be having different voice, different opinion, and at the same time, first time I'm going to introduce again interactive show. So we might be having people calling in, and I will be having some panel to join us. Just say um, we understand different people view, head people view on what challenges a lot of people are faced when we talk about the voice. Is in the British community or maybe in African community, you know, a lot of impact that we know. We might also be talking about it today. Again, thank you for joining us. If you want to contribute, however, you can comment. Your comment might be maybe the panel might be able to also discuss your comment, or maybe viewers can also know what your view is about when it comes to the mistake we may make. Someone asked me about this program, and they were like, "Why am I talking about women? Is it only women that make mistake in program in relationship?" I was like, "Yeah." The thing is that this is going to be second time I've been thinking of doing this show. But because of you, the viewers who have been very supportive, I was able to increase my resilience to be live today to talk about women challenges in relationship. However, we always know the social language when it comes to we saying women first, lady first. That's common, isn't it? So today we are talking about women. Then next week, the same time on Tuesday next week, we're going to talk about the men, the mistakes men also make in relationship. Again, if you're just joining in, welcome to Zion Extra. My name is Alex Oni Edigin. We're going to be talking about the mistakes women make in relationship when it comes to high level of divorces in our community. Thank you very much for your support, and I want to assure you we will answer some of your questions if you have any, and at the same time we will try our best to give you what kind of maybe expectation you're going to be having. Maybe you want to start a relationship. Do you have that guy hooking on you? Or how long have you been in a relationship? We might be also be pointing out it. And some of the things you need to maybe take in and to build your future relationship, because we don't want, when we're talking about relationship, marriage and all that, it's forever. It's for better and for joyful richer. I don't want to say the other part where they say for better, for worse, you know. But however, if your partner becomes unwell, when we talk about relationship, that's where we really know what support and who we are in relationship. What is your take? What is your view? What are the mistakes you know that is affecting our women in our community today? You know, tell us your view and whatever you think about it, or maybe you yourself, you might be feeling guilty that you have made some of these mistakes in the past. Is one of the things that we want to know. That yes, these mistakes you make, why do you think this mistakes was a mistake? Is this someone that told you that was a mistake, or was it an opportunity for you to grow in the when we talk about life life history or experience? Is this something that you took as an experience and that you were able to move on? What key into your resilience? What are the benefit or the disadvantage of your mistakes? These are something that we will also like to know, especially for the young ones who are coming up. What do they learn? Do they need to go into relationship? Or some people say, no, I don't want a relationship. Some want same-sex relationship. There are different things that are coming up that make people change their mind when it comes to relationship. Are you one of those who is saying, no, I'm not going to change my mind? Um, you know, um, what are the mistakes most women makes in relationship? Do you know what do you think that this mistake came about? You know, I'm gonna be having people calling in to share their view. Maybe they want to talk about what they've experienced in the past. Maybe we might create some argument to see how these things have affected some people. And how they were able to move on. Sometimes people say because of children, they want to remain in their mistake that they have made. Some will say, no, I can't remain in this relationship. We have to separate because this thing is affecting me that emotionally, mentally, and apart from that one, I cannot move on. And as a normal person with this relationship, a lot of things happen. You know, if we look at the mental health challenges we are having in our community today, especially the migration, the challenges of COVID-19, and again, for those in Africa, there is what we call NSAS that is also affecting Nigeria community. So if these things are put together, and at the end of the day, you also have the challenges in your relationship. This might be too high for you, isn't it? Something like that. So we will be talking about some of these things and see a lot of people who have been affected in the past. How were they able to go on? How were they able to move on? What did they do to get to the stage they have? Some people might be in their relationship whereby they have I have one caller here. I'm just gonna hello caller. Hello caller. Okay, the person might call back. So now I'm going to be having one of my panel with me so that we can get to know what's their take when it comes to the mistakes we may make in relationship. Welcome with us, Oni. Sir, you are welcome to Zion Extra. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Oh, I can hear you. I think maybe your mic, something might be wrong with your mic, sir. If you want to double check it. Yeah, yeah. Can you still hear me? Yeah, maybe come back again. We just have Sir Oni coming to join us again. I'm not quite sure what happened there. That might be network issue. So I'll see. We're having one caller. Let's see if we can get that caller back. So we need to know what people are thinking. What are the challenges we know in relationship? affecting people in our community. You know, we want to hear their views. What's your view? I'm just going to call that caller back and see. Hello. That caller. We'll wait for her to come back. Now, some of the mistakes people make in relationship. There's one of the thing I identify when it comes to our community. It says self-love. You know, self-love. Do you believe self-love is one of the things that affect our people in community? You know?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Who is calling? Where are you calling from? Hello?
My name is Mrs. Basi Ayo. I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Oh, hello. Thank you for calling. Thank you for joining our show. Are you
Thank
watching us
you.
live?
Yes, I'm watching you live and I enjoy your programs.
Oh,
I've
thank you.
always been watching your programs.
Thank you very much. We have a special topic today, and I don't know what you want to contribute when it comes to the mistakes most women makes in relationship.
Yes, there. I think women we make a lot of mistakes, when it comes to relationship because of our nature. We are very soft. Not that I'm not saying that we are not strong, but God has made us that we are emotionally, we're we're very emotional beings, and we God has given us the power to nurture and to care. you know. So most times when people come into our lives, we tend to look at them like they are our responsibility and we have to care for them, which is the nature that God has given to us. That's why if a woman is in love, she takes care of the person she's in love with like her own child, and will protect the person and all of that. But most times when women, do these things, they forget to also use their brains as well, to think before, they do certain things or, react to things that happen to them. So, for instance, maybe a woman is in love with someone, she's in love with someone, and, in short, when a man comes to a woman, I'm talking from a perspective as a woman. When you see a man and you're attracted to the man, even if in the man's mind he's not taking you seriously, you just believe that in short, you start visualizing your wedding with the person, you're already visualizing having children with the person and all of that. And you're so emotionally attached to this person. Meanwhile, this person is not, also doing the same, thinking the same way or having the same feeling. And sometimes this is a very, major problem. And sometimes it takes, certain things to happen, like maybe a disappointment, or maybe there's some form of, confliction, and then the woman will now realize that this person wasn't, thinking well for her, or even, didn't even love her as much as she loved the person. So what I'll say is, when women are, you know, looking forward to starting relationships, we should put our brain first in front before our heart. We should make sure that we are thinking, as much as our emotions, it's taking a hold of us. We should also ensure that we are also calculating, we are also thinking, looking out for signs. For instance, you're on a date with someone, don't just be, overwhelmed and not thinking about looking at the person's actions. The man takes you out for a drink and he's shouting at the waiter or the bar attender, "Hey, come here!" Or he's swearing at the person, or acting rude. That should be a sign. Like, if this person is this rude and this mean to someone, a stranger that the person doesn't know, then how about me? If I get close to this person and the person knows my in and out, would this person, respect me? So you need to look out for those signs. And also, when a woman is also planning to go into a relationship, you need to also pray. You need to consult God as well, because sometimes we pray, but we don't look out for the answers. So when you pray and then someone comes to you, the first thing you should not be looking at the person's six pack, or is the person, built, is the person handsome. I'm not saying you shouldn't be attracted to someone, but so you should also look deep, because when you have the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit will guide you. These are for people that are born again. That's why we need Jesus, and we need Christ in our life. So that when we pray, when people come to us, when their intent is not right, the Holy Spirit will reveal to us that this person is not right. We're not going to look at the flashy cars. We're not looking at the biceps. We're not going to be looking at, oh, what can this person, offer me now? But you look at, what is this person made up of? When you're speaking to this person, what kind of words, do the person say? Does it say faithless words? Is he negative? Maybe you're saying, oh, I want to do this. The person like, oh, no, 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 don't do it. You won't succeed. Does the person bring you down? These are the things. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So what the person says to you sometimes is enough. You don't even need the person to, take some actions that you know that, okay, well, this person is a woman beater, or this person is abusing. The words that the person will say to you, to the words the person will say to people around him, then does he encourage you? Does he push you? Does he, motivate you? Does he inspire you? When you want to do certain things, do you see that light, that okay, yes, this person is pushing me to be someone better? Or do you feel like the person is always talking you down, or saying things that are negative? When you start feeling those negative vibes, and you always know it if you have the Holy Ghost, then you just know that this person is not meant for me. It's not about how the person looks. It's not about what the person has, or what or even the person's qualification. Because sometimes you say, okay, this person is a professor, so then the person knows everything about taking care of a woman or being there for a woman. But sometimes it's far beyond those things. So you need to look at, how does this person, treat me, or what are the words the person says, and how does the person relate to people around him? And when the push comes, maybe the person is in a challenge, or you are in a challenge, how does the person react? Maybe something happens to you. Maybe you lost your job, or you lose a family member, or something happens to you. How does that person react? Does he react with faith? Does he react with fear? So those are the little things you need to look out for.
Okay, now, if I had to use one, that means some women lack faith. They lack self-awareness when it comes to relationship. They lack empowerment to empower themselves to be able to face the resilience of argument, knowing when to say no, isn't it?
Yes. So basically, it's just perceiving the opposite person. Yes, we also, as women, we have a lot of things to work on ourselves. We also have to have confidence in ourselves. Okay. We don't need someone to tell us that we are beautiful before we know we are beautiful. We need to be able to understand that we ourselves, we are queens.
All right.
That God has made us in His fullness and His righteousness.
Hallelujah.
So you don't need anybody's validation.
That women
you don't need anybody's validation. Okay. You yourself, you should know who you are before you even go into a relationship. And if your background, maybe you went through a lot of abuse, or maybe the past relationships you were in were not good, you have to give yourself some time to heal. So if you know that you're not proper, you're not fully healed, and you're still carrying some sadness, some bitterness, some anxiety, some trust issues, it is also important that you yourself, you need to sit down and set yourself, because it's not just the men sometimes. Because if you yourself, you have you're not sure of what you want, you attract the negative. You attract the negative. So you yourself, you need to set yourself to be sure that, yes, this thing I'm going into, I'm ready for this thing. Don't any man that comes your way, you just jump. And you know, you need to know your worth. Not
Okay.
everybody that comes your way that you just jump, you know, into.
All right. You still with us, right? I'm just going
Yes.
to bring in Sir Oni and to respond in regard to the mistakes most women makes in relationship. Sir Oni, are you there? Hello. Hello. Hello, Sir Oni, are you there? Sir Oni, are you there? I think his network. Oh, network is putting asunder tonight's conversation now, isn't it? Hello. Hello, viewers. Thank you for joining us. If you understand, today's topic is the mistake women make. So now we have our two guests, one on the screen, which is trying to get his audio set for us, and at the same time, we also have a caller letting us know that women need to have faith in relationship. They also need to build their confidence, and lacking faith and confident trust can actually be something that is affecting women in relationship. And online here, we can say some women do not invest on themselves. Some women do not invest on themselves. Okay, now I'm just going to ask again. When we say some women doesn't invest on themselves, Lady Ayo, what do you think about that?
Yes, I totally agree with that comment. Like I was saying, we also have a part to play before we start a relationship. You know, we need to build ourselves, you know, in every aspect, spiritually, you know, financially, you know, you even socially as well. Maybe you're someone you know that you don't like people around you, you don't like, you know, socializing with people, you're always paranoid anytime someone is around you and things like that. You need to work on that because when you are in a relationship, you know, you're also dealing with another human being, and that person will also share the same space with you. So socially, you need to ensure that is checked. Financially as well, you need to prepare yourself as a woman. If you don't have a skill, you don't have a job, you know, you're not educated, you can start to build yourself, like taking on courses, learning a skill, even if it is, you know, learning how to do cake or something or cooking, so that by the time you meet the next individual or you're in a relationship with a man, you're not relying on him. You're already prepared. You're going to that relationship, you're not, you know, fully dependent on a man. And then most times, most women go into relationships like that, and the men take advantage of that fact because they're vulnerable and they don't know their left from their right. So when you're educated and certain things happen, you know this is a red flag, this is not right, this is not right. You know, even before you even pray, there's little things that education can help you to know that this person is not meant for you, you know, and you yourself, you'll be educated and you enlightened, you know,
Okay, let's
when it
let's
comes to
hear.
certain things.
Sorry, I'm gonna see if Sir Oni voice is okay now. Sir Oni, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great. Hear you clearer now.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us. I understand you join us from London, right?
yes, I did.
Okay. What is your take when it comes to the mistakes women make? Because you can hear Lady Ayo talking now. What do you think? Do you think she's right when we're talking about investing in yourself, socially, spiritually, and psychologically?
Well, I have to start by saying I'm not in a position to say whether somebody is right or wrong. I mean, we there are so many challenges that women face, and we are not really able to know what they face sometimes if we are not in their shoes. You know, whatever I say here now, it's not being generic. It's not being. I'm not referring to every woman. I would say applicable to some women. We must be very, very careful when we say the mistake they make. So women come into relationship with all they have, with all their hearts, with everything they have. Unfortunately, they met the wrong person. That might change their perception. It might change the way they think. You know, you might be seeing somebody very different. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah, we can hear you.
So if somebody comes into a relationship with all our hearts, with our culture, with our values, comes to a relationship, I saw somebody writing, is it Iyamu, Mrs. Iyamu saying they must be compatible. You know, if you come into a relationship with all you have, and you are with somebody who you are not compatible with, you'll be seeing a different person. You'll be seeing a different woman. And from there, we can be saying this is what she's doing wrong. For me, I don't think it's about education. I don't think it's about being beautiful. I don't think it's about being the, you know, putting everything you have. I don't think so. For me, I just think it's about knowing what is good for you and working towards what is good for you. What is good for somebody else might be different for you. So I like to think some people, when you look at other relationships, oh, I want to do this because this woman is doing this. But is that what is really good for you in your relationship? Is that who you are? I kind of like what Iyamu is writing here. A lot of things concerning investing in yourself. When we say invest in yourself, it can be education. Yes, it can be culture, the way you are brought up from your culture. It can be personal experiences. It can be so many things, but it cannot certainly be something. It have to be different things. So when people come into such relations with such view, for example, there was a day I was in the church. The pastor was saying, "Oh, this morning I cook for my wife. I prepare for my wife. I prepare for food for my children. They all ate. I don't know why some men they will just sit down. They don't want to cook. They don't want to do anything. I do this for my wife. It's good. Is that, you know?" So the pastor was saying, "There's nothing wrong with that, but that is what is good for the pastor. That was not what is good for me, but it's good for the pastor." If some women are listening to that, when they get home, they will expect their husband to cook because the pastor said he's cooking for his family. And if the man don't know how to cook, what will happen? If you and your relationship, you have to know what do you want in your relationship, what is in your relationship. Focus on your relationship. I have to say sometimes, no matter what you do, some men don't deserve it. It can bring something else out of the woman. You understand that? So this is why it's difficult to say what women are doing wrong. Another example is if you are in a courtship relationship, yeah, when you're in a courtship relationship, you sleep, you know, you have intimate relationship maybe 5 times a week, maybe once, maybe twice, no matter what is good for you. You do this when you're in a courtship relationship. Then after some time, you now have a child. The child is now involved in the relationship. And obviously, when the child is involved, it reduces the urge of the woman and sometimes for the man. But what is the problem here? If you used to have intimate relationship 5 times a week, and now there's somebody involved that is taking that attention, the person is very, very important. This is a child. We need to give a child those attention. But there's something we are forgetting here. There used to be 5 times intimate relationship a week. Now it's reduced to 1 a week, or sometimes once in a month. This is an issue. I'm not saying here we should not focus on the child, but we also need to think about what made this relationship tick in the first place. What is it that we used to do that we like doing? Where are the places that we used to go? What is it that this my partner likes? What is it that I used to do that make him happy? So there are sometimes we tend to ignore this. So in general, I'm not in a position to say what women do wrong, like I said earlier, because I'm not in their shoes. But there are some issues we think is applicable to some women, and the ways that we can consider those things. If you're in a relationship, you focus on what you want. If you're in a relationship, you keep focusing on the things that make you to be in the relationship in the first place. Those things are very helpful, but there are times we forget those things. I also give another example. I have a colleague who's a professional like me. When she was not in school, when she was not educated, she was having issues with the husband.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you still listening? All right. Sorry, sir. We just find out if she's listening to you.
At the first, she was not educated. Eventually, she became educated. Now she did her master's, more educated than the husband. What is now the problem? She's no longer reliant on her husband. She's now more educated. She's now more intelligent. Everything she does, it's as if I'm now better than you. Now she's well educated. Now this continues to bring issue in the relationship, and eventually they separated. Yeah, so you tell me, what is better? Is it when she was not educated, they are in a relationship, they are bringing their children together, or now that she is educated, the education led to separation? Which is better? I'm not in a position to say which is better, but I'm always saying there are certain things that will also bring complications in a relationship. If she's in a relationship, continue to focus on what brought them together in the first place, and not to think about now that I'm educated, and no, you can't do this to me anymore because I'm educated. Does that mean education will lead to divorce, will lead to separation? Yes, these are my points at this moment.
Now, when we talk about relationship, we understand that relationship can be marriage relationship, it can be boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. At the end of the day, this thing can lead to maybe many years together, they start having children. Okay, if we see these mistakes women make in relationship now, there should be something negative when we are talking about mistake, isn't it? What do we think are the negative impacts in this relationship, in these mistakes they make in relationship? What are the lady? I don't know if you want to say something first. The negative impact on these mistakes with labor, because you talk about spiritual, you talked about self-awareness, you talk about having faith in each other. You also talk about education. Okay, now, what are the negative impacts along the line of these mistakes?
Okay, thank you. The negative impact on bad relationships or relationships that end really badly, to me, I think from my observation with maybe a lot of friends and family members who have come out of divorces, or maybe they've come out of relationships due to issues, is that first of all, there's an issue with trust. They usually have issues with trust, like they don't really trust maybe any man, or any man that comes their way that is serious or wants to have a relationship with them.
As mental head now, kind of mental head issue, yeah.
Yeah, they usually have trust issues, and also their self-esteem also comes really down. Imagine if you were a very confident woman, someone who had prospects for yourself, and you probably had a vision to be, maybe, you had a vision for your life, and then you met someone, and because you're married to this person, the person is probably controlling, a narcissist. The person won't let you go out for maybe maybe you used to attend social gatherings like women meetings, things like that, that would help you interact with other people to build your intellect and things like that. And this person is always not allowing you to, to grow or develop in any way. The person is controlling you, maybe abusive as well. And then the relationship ends. You find out that this person is already damaged. A lot of times these women are damaged, and if it's in a society where you don't have things in place to bring you out of that mental state, because like you said, it's also like a disorder, bringing them out of this mental state, then most times they just end up being that way. They just end up being that way. They don't trust, not just men, they might not even trust people around them because they're just, afraid. And most times they can't even move to the next chapters of their lives because they're just not really confident that they can make it anymore. They think it's over for them, especially when they have children that they have to cater for. They're not even thinking about another relationship. They're just thinking about making these children become something or trying to train them from where, the man must have left them, if he even lets them go with the children, lets her go with the children, you know. So yeah, so women, when they are in bad relationships, most times they come out with low self-esteem, trust issues, and they don't even look forward to starting any other relationship or being even committed. Like I have a close colleague of mine who were having a discussion, and she told me that since she left her child's father, that it's almost 15 years she has not been in a relationship, and her child will be going into uni very soon. And she just thought about it. She said, wow, you cannot even imagine that I have not been in a relationship and I've not trusted anybody that much to say I will give my life or give my heart to that person again. And it was really sad because when I sat down and thought about it, it was really sad that one person, that an encounter with one person can change somebody's mindset about very wonderful good men out there that might want to stay with this young lady, but just because of that experience she has shut down that aspect of her life, which is really sad.
Thank you very much. Before we go to the last question, I would like Sir Oni to respond to the negative impact relationship, maybe in the area you mentioned. For example, you talked about being compatible together in the beginning of the relationship to know if we are fit together. You also talked about investing together. Now, they must have invest together, maybe house, children, as I said before, or maybe education, lifestyle, Now, when we look at the cultural part of it, they might also have maybe something that's attached them together. We look at the attachment between family, friends, because of maybe they are from, let's talk about African community. What would be the negative impact you might think of at the end of this relationship, maybe divorce or other thing comes in? What do you think would be the negative impact?
Well, certainly one of the negative impacts is it could be finance. If you are not in a happy relationship, if you are separated, if you are divorced, it could lead to financial difficulties. It could lead to starting afresh again, starting to build your finances again, which could be very, very difficult. That could lead to unhappiness, it could lead to sadness. It could lead to, again, mental health issues, it could lead to depression. So that's a very big issue when it comes to negative impact. And if children are involved, they become the victim. They become the victim of such relationship. There are sometimes, children becomes involved in conflicts between their parents, either in self-defense or in an attempt to protect who they think is a victim. So during this process, they become part of the argument, they become part of the conflict. So it starts to affect them in a very different way. You cannot imagine how it can affect them emotionally, academically, socially, and also, the woman wouldn't be a good role model to her children because The children might get the wrong information about what really happened. And in their own personal relationship, it will also go ahead. And we have some women who consciously try to say negative things about the partner to the children. I mean, this is not good sometimes because the children can react in a very different way. So yes, when children are involved, it becomes a very big issue. They affect them in every ways that you just cannot imagine. And when we talk about unhappiness, some women just take this unhappiness everywhere. They just take it everywhere. They take it to work, like my sister just said. They take it to other relationships, or no more relationships at all. So this is just some of the few ways it can impact on people in a very negative way.
Thank you very much. The viewers, you can listen. I think this is very educational. Thank you very much. Welcome to Zion Extra. If you just joining us, we're talking about the mistakes women make in a relationship. We actually just finished talking about the negative impact that is as affecting them, not just them, the children, the family, the friends, socially, educationally, maybe financially. Also, we also talk about mental health issue, low child education, and poverty. Again, lastly, let's talk about what advice now. If I want to ask Sir Oni, what advice would you give to those listening now? They've heard all this negative area of relationship when it comes to women. What advice will you give to the women before they start relationship, or those who are in relationship facing all these challenges?
Because again, just some of the advice you can give to them, because if you are not there, you will not really know how they are feeling. You will not really know what is motivating them. You will not really understand them from cultural perspective. So this is just some of the advice, and this is what do you really want in a relationship? Are you in a relationship for fun, for family? Are you in a relationship because somebody wants to be in that relationship? Are you in a relationship because you just love the appearance of this person? The question is, why are you in this relationship? Why do you expect to, what do you expect to gain from this relationship? And also, if you're in a relationship, it's not about taking. It's also about giving. At this point, I also hope when you are giving to the right person. I have to say. So when you are giving, it's not, or you are giving emotionally, or you are giving financially, or you are giving morally. I'm hopeful that if you are giving to the right person, it will react positively. But if you come into a relationship, you are there to take. You are there to take, just to take. Is this what you want in this relationship? If you are just taking, how long do you think you will keep taking? And what do you think will be the outcome of your being here to take? This is where my sister said earlier, Yamu said earlier, that you have to invest in relationship. You don't only come to relationship and take. So when you are going in a relationship, be ready to invest. One, be very honest with yourself why you are in this relationship. Also, be honest with yourself if this is the right person for you. And if this is not the right person for you, you just have to make the decision on time. Make the decision on time, but this happens mostly when you have the confidence to do so. But if it is not the right relationship, either because you don't like his behavior, you don't like the way he dress, he's ugly, or he's too handsome, or he's too rich, or you need to know, is this what you want? Can I remain in this relationship? But also, you know, women are very powerful. They have a way of changing the perception of men in a relationship. If you study the person you are dealing with in the relationship, and you are able to use your strength, your patience, your perseverance, your understanding, most of the time they are successful in doing so. But if you don't have the patience, the perseverance to do that, you just end up losing everything. So yes, if you go into a relationship, be ready to persevere, but only in a relationship you know that, yeah, this is what I want. There are some relationships, no matter how you persevere, I also have to say this. Sometimes you will regret going into the, why do I have to punish myself all this time? I know that. But when you have this as a weapon, as an individual, a weapon to persevere, a weapon to be honest with yourself, a weapon to be morally forthright in terms of what you will expect from people and give it to others, most of the time you succeed. But if you don't have those weapons, you are not forthright with morality, you are not forthright with personality, you are not forthright with perseverance, you are not forthright with using your own, thinking possibly for yourself. Most of the time, you come out in a very difficult way. So yes, when you go into a relationship, you need to weaponize yourself with those things, which are very, very good attributes to many great women. Having those powers with you, you'll be able to do a lot. But if a woman is not ready to do that, sometimes it will lead to something else.
Thank you so much. Lady Ayo, I don't know. What is your advice? How can women avoid these kind of mistakes generally in your own view?
Yes, like I said before, women are emotional beings, and we tend to let our emotions take a whole lot of us before we make decisions. So what I'll say is let your brain go before your heart, because love is a beautiful thing, you know, and people tend um to mix up love and lust. So you need to know when you're lusting and when you truly love someone. And if you truly love someone, you will definitely use your head and you will see the things around you. But when you're lusting over something, when the lust is over, that's when your eyes will be clear. And by then it might be too late. So you need to use your head in every situation. Like I've forgotten his name, but like my brother said, you need to be to be sincere with yourself. And then if you see anything that is not right, you need to definitely, either speak to someone or make a decision at that point. Don't overlook any sign and say, oh, he will change. When we get married, the person will change. Or maybe the person does something, you overlook it. So you need to ensure that you don't let chemistry take over you, because when the push comes to push and you're in marriage, you find out that that reality will start unfolding. When the kids start coming, things start happening. That is when, things will start, that's when you need to to face reality. So you need to ensure that you don't let emotions take over you in any situation. As much as you pray as well, you need to ensure that you look out for signs. Look out for, is this person what I want? Is this person compatible with me? Is this, can I actually stay with someone? Don't, if you know that you don't like, for instance, you're someone that doesn't you don't like people who, you can't stay with someone that lies, and someone is lying to you often just because the person has six pack. You overlook it. The truth is the six pack will fade away. The person will become old, and all these things will start showing up, and there's no way you'll be able to change that person. You won't be able to change him. So you must ensure that you let your emotions and the physical attraction not take the lead, but use your heart and then the guidance of the Holy Spirit. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank you again, Sir Oni and Lady Ayo, for coming to this show. You have really contributed to Zion Extra community today, and thank you again. Do you have, Sir Oni, do you have anything to say to the viewers, or you want to say bye?
Yeah, there's something very important I didn't mention. I thought I should mention it. It's communication. Communication, active communication, talking about your concern and responding also when there's concern. Communication, communication, communication. In a relationship, in a courtship relationship, in a married relationship, communication, be honest with your communication, and also seek such attributes from your partner. Encourage communication. Tell your partner you need to talk about things. If I'm not doing this, communicate. If you have concern, don't just keep it. Express yourself in a very, very polite way, but always try to communicate. For me, I think that's very, very important as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you. You're gonna join us next week, Tuesday. We talk about the mistake men make. Today we talk about the ladies.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Lady Ayo. Do you want to say your last word to the viewers or advice before you
Thank
go?
you so much. I don't have anything to say. I think we've spoken about most of the foundational knowledge and things that is important when looking into starting up a relationship. So I would just say thank you so much for having me tonight, and I really appreciate.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again maybe next week. Is that possible? To talk about the men.
I wouldn't want to be a part of that discussion because it might be.
You only having capability to talk about the
I
women.
was really interested in this one because I'm speaking out of experience, and at least I have women around me that talk about their problems. So at least I
All right.
understand where they're coming from. But for the men, I might not understand how they think and how they react and why they do the things they do. So I think it would be better for the men to talk and probably maybe women who know better.
You are very right. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay blessed.
Thank
Again.
you. Thank you so much.
Right.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Hello, viewers. Again, thank you all for joining us today. You've heard from the different. You've heard from different view of Sir Oni and Lady Ayo. They've actually advised us today that yes, you are responsible when it comes to relationship. The last one was the communication. Communication is very important in relationship. Speak. Tell your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever you're thinking that is maybe killing you down, because it's only one life we have. When it comes to mental health challenges in our community today, a relationship is another challenges that we cannot really say is not going to end up in mental health issue. It affects the children, it affects our friends, it affects us financially, it affects the children's education. It also affects maybe when it comes to our relationship, when maybe development in our community, psychological, social. Yes, it's something that we need to always talk about now. You talk about it right now. If you're watching and you want to be part of us in our next show, you can actually inbox Zion Extra at yahoo.com, or you can just visit our website to see how you can support us or volunteer for Zion Extra in any of your community, near the community you belong. You might be in Nigeria community. Yes, you have an opportunity to join us. Right now, we're creating social care training in Edo. When you're talking about healthcare assistance, we're creating them, which we're going to showcase to everybody through the testimony and all that. If you want to take part, this training is funded, it's free. So, but for organization, if you want to also sponsor the training, you want to support what we are doing, yes, visit our website and let us know which area you want to help us out. Maybe before the week's runs out, we're going to be showing different adverts on our website, on our Facebook pages. Just read through it and see how you're going to register for the training that is ongoing. You can actually visit the Extra Heart Talk. We have a flyer there right now that you can actually see who you can contact when it comes to the training. Thank you all, and we're going to call it a day. Thank you for supporting us. And my name remains Alex Oni Edigan. Stay blessed.